Alright guys, let's talk here about the Armenian civilization. I think that one of the biggest difference from the Armenian to the other regular civilizations is that instead of having access to lumber camp and mining camp, it does have this unique building here called mule cart. And the Armenians also have, only the Armenians and the Georgians have access to this building here. It doesn't count population, it's actually a building, but it's a moving building. You can actually move it from another place. So basically because of that, you can just keep using this building during the game and increasing the efficiency of your wood cutting, and that's pretty powerful. Another good thing here about the Armenians is that they do receive a bonus that mule carts cost less 25%, which means that you only pay 15 food and 60 wood in order to create one of these, making your Dark Age very smooth. Thanks to that, you can actually go for a regular Dark Age. For example, right here on this game, I am playing as the Armenian and I'm actually going for a drush. It's easier to drush because basically we're getting at least a 40 wood saving for having a mule cart instead of a lumber camp. So that increases a bit the speed of a regular drush, and also you can later use this mule cart in a more efficient way. Another thing that is worth talking about Armenian is that they are a very special infantry civilization, and what is special about them is that they have access to the spearman line and the militia line upgrades one age earlier, and also access to that as well. So for example, you can already start making spearmen during the Dark Age if you want. You can upgrade pikemen during the Feudal Age. You can upgrade men-at-arms and also long swordsmen both during the Feudal Age. So you can go up to long swordsmen during this age, and also you do have access to two-handed swordsman and champion on the Castle Age, halberdiers on the Castle Age as well. So you can actually go for some heavy cavalry counter like the halberdier already during the Castle Age, or you can, for example, help yourself to get out of a bad situation on the Dark Age. Right there, guys, I'm still on Dark Age and I already have like 4 spearmen. So use this in the most creative way you actually find. Right here, I'm even using this in order to get a good fight and try to harass some of my opponent militias. He did a good amount of militias, and I'm just kind of countering it with raw spearman numbers, making it very annoying to him to play against me, and making obviously his militia to get a bit worn out. So basically you have this small opening here, which is pretty good. The other bonus that's worth talking about the Armenian is that their mule car technologies are 40% more effective. And what is a mule car technology? Well, you know when you have your lumber camp that you can upgrade double beat axe? Well, what the double beat axe makes, it actually makes the villagers collecting wood 20% faster. Add 40% extra to that 20%, and this is basically what the Armenian bonus is giving you. So basically you are increasing the efficiency of all these upgrades, which makes your economy way smoother here, especially on the wood cutting, especially after you go and do that at every age. Same can be applied here by the gold mining, but wood is probably a resource that you are probably going to go heavy into since the early stages of Feudal Age. And because of that, you can just keep moving your mule cart. You are not going to have to reinvest into the wood, and your upgrade is already way better. As I said, you can go for some crazy good builds like going for long swordsman on the early stages of the game, and that is very difficult to deal with because men-at-arms have 6 attack and no melee armor. But the long swordsman gain 1 extra melee armor and 3 extra attack. So that's a very valuable upgrade and gives way too much, and also it gives an additional HP to your units. While men-at-arms have 45 HP, a long swordsman will have 60. So you have 33% more HP than the regular men-at-arm. With all these stats in the infantry war here, in a pure infantry war, the Armenians should be superior to any other men-at-arm here of the game. And of course, you can also upgrade that and scale this pretty well. Because of that, the Armenian early game is full of surprises, and you can actually surprise your opponent by playing with long swordsmen. That's very annoying to deal with, and if you do not do enough army, or if you do not react properly, these long swordsmen can just be upgraded and they will start eating out your buildings. So you do have to make a huge effort in order to get some equal fight against these units, either by having numbers or having towers or anything like like that. And once again, if you do not attack the long swordsman, they're just gonna take down your building, so you're kind of forced to fight against this annoying unit. That's not so usual approach. Usually players can nerf that by walling heavily, but even walling heavily it has its difficult when you have to deal with long swordsmen, because not only they have 9 base attack, but you can also upgrade both their attack here and also upgrade arson. So the early stage of the Armenian is quite annoying, and you can play in a very aggressive way, focusing a lot on infantry. Alright, Armenian infantry is good, we already talked about that, but what's important to state here is that you can actually double the bet once you are in the castle age. So once you are in the castle age, you can actually get your infantry to be a lot stronger. There are some basic infantry ups that I always recommend, for example Squires. Squires is a bonus that gives extra speed to your infantry, that allows you to go from 0.96 speed to 1.06. Basically you are going to have the same speed of a Celt infantry, make it very easy to maneuver, and of course you can outrun units such as skirmisher, archers, always being able to get the correct savings. The other upgrade that's worth mentioning here is the chainmail armor, which will add 1 extra melee armor and 1 extra pierce armor to your infantry. Right now I can tank up to 3 damage from any kind of unit here on the game, so this is pretty powerful. On top of that, there are also another upgrade that not all civilizations do have access to, but the Armenians do have, which is Gambensons. Gambensons is this small technology here, which honestly is quite cheap for a castle age upgrade, only costs like 100 food and 100 gold, and actually increases the pierce armor from both militia line and fire lancers to the civilizations that it does apply to, so you can basically double the bet. And if you want to get even some extra power, remember you are Armenian, so you can actually get access to two-handed swordsman that can be upgraded by only 200 food and 100 gold, and obviously that will give a huge boost here on the stats. With thanks to that, you can actually jump on your opponents and get some crazy good fights, especially if the opponent is still like on feudal age or not yet with fully upgraded army of castle age, like the crossbowmen. Once you do deploy your units, you're probably gonna have a way too much of a power spike. You can actually tank up to 4 pierce damage, 3 pierce arm, 3 melee damage, 65 HP, and can go up to 14 attack here on this unit. So this is incredibly strong, and you can probably get way better fights by using that. So if you are Armenian, going for the infantry gameplay is pretty good. If you do like to play with infantry, if you do like civilizations such as the Goths, such as the Celt, try out the raw strength from the Armenians. By the way, guys, meanwhile at my economy, I just kept advancing my mule cart together with my villagers, so my economy was just being way more profitable than a regular one. So that's basically the way to play Armenians, with full infantry. We have several build orders for the civilization and for the long swordsman strategy, so I do recommend that you guys follow that up, because they can be pretty interesting and can add a lot to your game. Armenians are a great civilization, and let's talk here about one of their unique units and how powerful and useful this unit can be. And I'm talking about the warrior priest. Armenians are the only civilization that have a unit different from the monk here, and that actually has some fighting stats. The Spanish do have the missionary, but it's only a different version of the monk. But the warrior priest, well, it's a priest, and basically it costs some food and gold, and it's an infantry unit, so basically it does benefit from both upgrades from the monastery and also from the upgrades that does affect infantry. So let's think a bit about it. It has 80 HP, so it's a very bulky unit. That's way too much HP to have, and it can actually heal other units. So if you have like 2 warrior priests, one can heal each other, so you can just grab a fight, run, and one can heal each other and go for round number 2. So that's a possible use of the unit. They actually can be benefited here by Sensity and Fervor, increasing both their HP and their speed. And obviously when you go towards the barracks, you can upgrade for example Squires, Arson. You can upgrade all the armor and all the attack for the infantry, and it will affect this unit as well. The only downside of this unit is that since it's like a monk unit and an infantry unit, it will receive bonus damage versus both infantry and monks. So for example, if you are facing a hand cannoneer, you are gonna receive extra bonus. If you're facing a Russar, for example, you're actually gonna receive extra bonus. The Russars are just gonna hit the priest like if they were actually hitting a monk. So basically, having to deal with some Imperial Age and even Castle Age compositions with this unit might not be the key. But one way that you can use this unit, which is pretty useful, is using it to fastly collect the relics. They are faster than a monk, they are more resistant than a monk, and in the 1v1, well, they can kill the monks. The monks cannot convert this unit unless they do research atonement. So this is actually a good counter to kind of monk rushes as well. As you can see on this game, Draken went for a very fast Castle Age up, and he is dropping 2 fortified churches. Once you drop your first fortified church as Armenian, you do win a free relic, so you are already starting to receive some small payback for adding up a fortified church. Then you can just start to spam the warrior priests, and of course, as you can see, fervor is already being tacked into to add some extra speed to those guys. So basically what you need to do here is to run with your priests there, get the relics and go back. Obviously, there are some eagles around, and what can you do here with the warrior priest? Well, you can either hit the scout, hit the eagle, or you can just choose to heal up your own scout. And then you can just pick up fights against enemy scouts, enemy eagles, and now with the addition of fervor, oh, it was cancelled. You can basically just go there, boom back the resources and start booming. The thing is, we are talking about a 17 minutes into the game, and the Armenians about to bring back all the 6 relics. So the 5 relics from the map, the 1 free relic, and now the Armenian will just be generating gold non-stop while using just a few of these units in order to make this big play. So this is one of the big plays for the Armenian, using the warrior priest. Later you can change into some kind of booming, and of course, in case you need to deal with other unit that can actually counter the warrior priest, like in this scenario you can see some jaguar warriors there, well, basically you can add monks here, switch from the warrior priests to monks. Right here on this game, some of the jaguars are also receiving damage from the fortified churches, guys. Yes, the fortified churches do shoot projectiles if they are garrisoned with relics or with villagers. So basically having those relics and villagers inside of your fortified churches allows it to be used as a tower as well. Fortified priests, warrior priests cannot take a full fight, a clean fight against the jaguar warrior, but they can at least protect the monks from being hit here. As you can see, even despite all the attacks from the Jaguars, those units still have like 95 HP once Fervor kicks in, making them very difficult to deal with for the Aztec. And then the Aztec just fails with his full Jaguar plan here because of the Aztec's Warrior Priest plus Monk combination. And that's basically how you want to be using this unit during the Castle Age. Alright guys, so let's talk about the Armenian army compositions that actually do shine during the Imperial Age. If you did play a regular game during the Castle Age, some of your units are just not gonna scale so well. You do lack the last cavalry armor, so any cavalry unit is not going to be a core part of your army. Still, I would say that if you can still use a few light cavalries here to raid, that's not gonna be so bad, but honestly, there are far better options for you to do. And there are 3 units here that are the core for the Armenian game. The first one is the champions. You can already anticipate some of the upgrades during the Castle Age to have a smooth transition once you reach Imperial Age, but the most important thing here for the champions is to do upgrade the Ferreters. Ferreters actually gives you 30 extra HP, allowing you to have 100 HP champions. It also boosts the breeding rate of your warrior priests. But what you truly want here from this upgrade is the 30 extra HP on your champions. The second unit here is the composite bowman. The composite bowman, guys, honestly the regular version, the elite actually doesn't change it so much, already gives 4 damage here on its base stance. So once you do finish to upgrade all the attack here upgrades on the blacksmith, fletching, bottling arrow, bracer, and also chemistry, you are actually going to have a unit that will deal 8 damage per shot. As you can see, even a small number of these units can already bypass the enemy armor and deal quite a significant damage, being able to deal even with some cavalry units sometimes. Of course, it's not good as a Genoese, but honestly, on the back line of your army, it will surely be a very helpful option. Also guys, one good tip that I give you as an Armenian player is to actually use Elite Skirmisher here during the Castle Age or during the transition to Imperial. This will actually tell your opponent, hey my friend, going for units such as Arbalests, Hand Cannoneers, Revicav Archer is not gonna be good for you because they do have some good counter that actually takes down your unit, and because of that they will actually provide the perfect cover for your champions. And there we go, as you can see, those are some long swordsmen. Soon we're about to see the ferreters upgrade to kick in, and once it does kick in, your infantry is just going to receive a very significant HP boost. Right there, what you were seeing are 95 HP two-handed swordsmen. That's a very bulky unit. Do not forget to upgrade your infantry armor here for it to get its best stats, and of course already get ready to make some composite bowmen on the back line. The Elite Skirmisher can just provide cover here for your infantry from anti-infantry units such as both hand cannoneers, slinger, and sometimes even the arbalests, okay? So that's basically the idea here of the Elite Skirmisher. If you did build some monks during the Castle Age, I also do recommend that you keep those guys around because they can be very useful, not only to keep healing your army, but also to convert enemy siege. On this game, as you can see, the Armenian player is trying to besiege a god. A god can actually win here on the numbers, but the Armenian wins on the quality of his army, especially after everything is fully upgraded. It's important to notice that if you do take smart fights here on the early stages of the game, you can actually boost up here the efficiency of your weapons. Right there, what we are seeing here is one of the most perfect Armenian compositions that you will see. Champions here with feathers, they are about to get fully upgraded. As you can see, they are now with 6 pierce armor, 4 melee armor, and a total, guys, of 100 HP, making this one of the most fearsome units to deal with on the Imperial Age. And of course, there are several composite bowmen here on the back line, and this archer unit does ignore armor, making it pretty strong against other units, especially very armored ones. For example, even the Hurskal, its armor means nothing when you have the composite bowman on the field. Of course, you also do want to keep your monks around because you can even do some amazing plays like converting the enemy bomber cannons from the distance, and that will provide some very good support to your army. Of course, once you have your full army composition of champions and composite bowmen, skirmishers can actually become obsolete, and your army shall prevail here on their fights. Remember, you are actually winning on the quality, but you also do want to have a significant quantity to use from your units. About the composite bowman, guys, as you can see, you only need to focus on upgrading its attack. You do not expect this unit to get hit, and if you have the front line of the champions, you can actually postpone their upgrades. Let's also make a small talk here about the elite version. The regular version has 40 HP and 1 armor. The elite version, which just got researched, only has 5 extra HP and 1 extra armor. So if I had to say, I would say that the elite composite bowman is one of the most ineffective upgrades for you to get. You are just paying more than 1,000 resources to have 1 extra melee armor in a unit that you do not want to get melee attacked, and 5 extra HP. So that's probably one of the most useless elite upgrades here of the game. So you can pretty much keep playing with the regular Castle Age version, and if you do have to choose your priorities, do choose to upgrade the champions faster. Of course, in a scenario where you do have unlimited resources or a very good amount of resources, like in this one, you can of course go finally for the elite version and get your 5 extra SP and 1 extra armor. That said, this is the best Armenian composition and the one that will probably provide you most success on your games. Elite Skirmisher as a support unit, but if you can actually have the excellent amounts here of gold, you can just go for the Elite Composite Bowman plus the champions, especially with the Golden Crown, which should always be your priority. And not a lot people talk about, but the Armenians also have access to bomber towers, and that can actually provide you some big plays to control the map. So just start gaining map control using champions and then add bomber towers to control. I think that's it's not so intuitive to go for the bomber towers with the Civ for several reasons. So one of those reasons is the civilization has no hand cannoneer and no bomber cannon, so you can actually go for the other siege. I do recommend trebuchets, to be honest, so that you can actually break down the enemy defenses here from the distance and allow your champions to do the rest. By the way, once you have a good amount of these champions, just jump on your opponent's economy as soon as you can, because 100 HP is a lot for town centers to deal with, and you're probably gonna be able to keep raiding this guy for a while and even idle his whole economy. Use the bomber towers to get key positions of the map and protect extra resources, making it hard for your opponent to come back. Right here on this game you can see Hart going for several bomber towers on his opponent on the neutral goat, for example, like this one, and this can actually allow you to outlast your opponent in resources. If I haven't mentioned it, guys, champions are very efficient gold wise. They only cost 20 gold, so you're basically your best unit does only cost 20 gold against enemy units that will probably cost a lot more, such as Cav archers, such as knights, depending on the civilization. So these 100 HP champions are honestly insane. I know it does take some time and there is some cost into upgrading those guys, but they are perfect. And if you do want a great unit to complement, just go for the composite bowman with all the discretion advised. By the way, guys, composite bowman, even the Castle Age version will actually be able to deal 8 full damage here, so beware. And this unit, even in small numbers, is great here to counter ratings and to help demolishing strong units such as heavy armored ones like paladins, horse skulls, and whatever you actually face with your Armenian composition.